fellow travelers. If you're heading to Munich, you're in for an incredible trip. But there are some things you need to know before you go, from the must-try foods, the classic tourist mistakes, sneaky scams, and the biggest do's and don'ts. I've got you covered. I put together our favorite Munich videos to help you get ready to experience Munich like a pro. So grab a pretzel, pour yourself a beer, and let's dive into everything you need to know before visiting Bavaria's amazing capital, Munich. Today we're going to talk about things you don't do when you're here in Munich, all right? So let's get started with the don'ts of visiting Munich. Now, the first don't I have for you is don't assume that Munich is just the Hofbrauhaus Beer Hall, big leader beer culture. Look, Munich has got so much more than just a beer house. Yes, they are totally fun, and you should go and have your Mass, your Stein of beer, and drink that up and have fun. But realize that Munich has an amazing collections of museum and tourist sites. Here, the Alte Neue and Modern Pinothek, the art galleries that are here. You have the residence, the summer or the winter residence of the Bavarian kings. You got the Nymphenburg Palace that's right outside of town. There's all kinds of great museums here. BMW Museum. There's a toy museum. The Deutches Museum, one of the best science and industry museums in the world, is here in Munich. So yes, there is beer, but don't think it's just beer here. You can get beer and culture, okay? Now my second don't for here has to do actually with those beer halls. Look, don't try to steal one of the big beer steins, the Masses, when you're in the Hofbrauhaus or those other places, because they watch, they know, and they will come get you. And you don't want to deal with the cops or the security guards late at night in those places. Just, you know what? They actually sell the beer steins, the big beer mugs, at the Hofbrauhaus and at Augustine and all these things, so you can just a beer mug that way. So don't steal it, because you will get in trouble for that, okay? And following on with that, our third don't is don't think that the Hofbrauhaus is the only beer hall in town. There are a lot of beer halls around town, and you can go and explore different ones and enjoy different ones out there. If you want more of a calm setting to go and have dinner, like where I go and have dinner with my mom when we come here, we go to the Augustiner Brew House and we go there for dinner and we have our beers and stuff like that. But just know, Hofbrauhaus is super touristy, yes, but don't think you just have to go to that one, because there are a lot more here. Now our fourth don't for Munich is don't think that Munich is going to be a cheap vacation. Now overall, Germany has a lot of great deals, and there are great deals to get here in Munich, like the buy-in ticket. You can go all over Bavaria for a really good price. But in general, hotels, restaurants, staying here, shopping here, Munich is actually quite pricey, so do be prepared when you come here, and don't forget to bring cash, because they like cash better than credit cards, okay? Now our fifth don't for you is don't be scared of the public transportation, because the public transportation, the S-Bahn, that's the above ground kind of trains, the U-Bahn, the subway, the buses, goes all over the place. So you can go and enjoy the Nymphenburg Palace. You can get out to the Englischer Garten and things like that. Easy, easy, easy with the subways and with all these things, because I know some people when they travel are like, well, Munich is so compact, you can see a lot of the sites really close to each other. Yeah, the residence is here, the Pinotheks are over there, the Glockenspiel at the new town hall, Neues Rathaus, is right over there, and you can walk everywhere. But don't be scared of that transport to go and explore more, because Munich really is more than just that historic center. There's so many great things to do here, whether you go to the Olympic Park or you're going to go to a soccer match or a football match when you are here. There is a lot more to that, so don't be scared of the transport, okay? And also, the transportation is really easy to buy tickets and use. There's maps all over the place, so either you don't speak German, you'll be fine with it here. Now, my sixth don't has to do with Oktoberfest, because I know a lot of people come to Munich just specifically for Oktoberfest, and don't forget that Oktoberfest isn't in October. Oktoberfest starts in September and goes through the first weekend of October. So if you want to come, try to shoot for mid-end of September to do that, and don't forget to reserve your rooms and a table in some of the tents, because otherwise you might have a tough time finding a place last minute and the prices really go through the roof then, and they don't serve you beer unless you're sitting at a table at one of the Oktoberfest tents, okay? Now my seventh don't for you has to do with shopping, because Munich, for me, Munich and Hamburg and then Berlin are the best shopping places anywhere in Germany. And the thing is, if you're a tourist, you're traveling on the weekends and things like that, but unfortunately you don't shop on Sundays. Look, Sundays in Germany in general, most stores are closed, so you won't be getting too much shopping done then, unless maybe it's at the train station or a tourist shop. So if you are here for a weekend trip, get your souvenirs, get your stuff bought on Saturday, because Sunday, you're out of luck. Also, on Mondays, not all of the museums are closed, but a lot of the museums are closed on Mondays. The residence, though, is open, and one of the Pinoteques is open, but not all of them, so do be careful if you're here for a Monday. Some of the stuff is closed. Now, the eighth don't I have for you is one of those things that really frustrates me with tourists, is if you go to Dachau, you know, the Nazi concentration camp where lots and lots of people were murdered. Don't be an idiot when you're there. I've gone to Dachau and other concentration camps around Germany, other parts of Europe, and I've seen tourists doing their selfies. Oh, look, here's the gas chamber. And I see those things. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Look, don't be a troll. Don't be an idiot when you go to the concentration camp about here, Dachau, which is probably the most visited one for tourists because Munich is such a big place. So please have respect when you're there and don't be a jerk at the concentration camps. Now, my ninth don't for you is don't just stay in Munich. Munich makes a great base and you can explore Bavaria really easily from here. And what's cool is with that Bayern ticket, you can go and travel all over on regional transport all around the state of Bavaria. And that is really, really cool because you have a lot of really cool places here. You can go to Nuremberg, the best Christmas markets in Germany. You go to the Castle on the Hill, the Folk Museum, all these kind of things. Or you can go to Bamberg with the home of smoked beer, or Regensburg to see the bridge there. Or you go to Oberammergau where they have buildings that are painted on the side and it's just like a winter wonderland when you go in there the right time of the year. Or if you want to go to another country, you can go to Salzburg, Austria with the Sound of Music. It's not more than an hour and a half away on a local train. There's so many great things here. And oh yes, there's that whole Neuschwanstein Castle, you know, the one that inspired Walt Disney for his Cinderella Castle. That's by here too. So don't just stay in Munich. Use it as a base to go explore all over the places because it really is a great place to do those kind of things. And the 10th don't I have for you is don't be afraid to come here outside of the summer. Look, I know a lot of people think, oh, Munich, that's like near the mountains and stuff, so it's going to be cold and gross and rainy because Germany's just bad weather stuff. Look, if you come here in November, if you come here in October, you come here in the spring, and you come here in the winter, Munich is a year-round destination. You can come and enjoy it anytime because of all the sights and all these kind of things. You don't need good weather to enjoy the residence. You don't need good weather to enjoy Neuschwanstein Castle. There's so much here. And honestly, if you come in the summer, the June, July, August, this place is packed. If you come here in November in the off-season, it's empty. We were in the residence today. Literally, we were in rooms, amazing rooms, by ourselves. Just, what, we got like 10 minutes just standing there. Wow, this is amazing. Just us. And you can have that kind of individual experience here in Munich when you do come in the off-season. There are so many fantastic Bavarian and Munich treats, German treats you're going to want to have when you're here. And I want to make sure you get the best of the best. Now, I can't talk about everything, but I'm going to give you some of my favorites. And we're going to start off with my favorite food in Germany, Schweinhaxe. You know, the thing that looks like when you play a video game that gives you 100% health? Yeah, the pork knuckle. Oh my God, it's so good. And you actually see places where it's roasting as it's going around and the skin gets all crispy with the fat drippings. Oh my God, it is so good. And then they have it with like this kind of like beer sauce, beer gravy. You might have some kraut with it and stuff, but oh my gosh, you can't go wrong with Haxe. Haxe is fantastic. Another super, super popular thing here in Munich is Münchner Weisswurst, the white sausages. Now, the white sausages, when you order them, they're not cooked on a grill. They literally bring it out to you in a porcelain bowl with a lid with the hot water in it that's been cooking in. You take them out and you eat them up, and they're fantastic with the sweet mustard. Now, you can do it the Munich way and just eat the insides, but don't worry, if you eat the case, it's okay. You're a tourist, it's fine, but that is one thing that's quintessential you gotta have when you're in Munich. And the thing is, if I'm talking about the white sausages and the sweet mustard, probably it's gonna be along with that is a pretzel or bretzen, and you will see pretzels when you are here. And the thing is, you go to the beer halls, there might be people walking around selling you a pretzel so you can get it on your own. You're walking on the street on a hot summer's day and you want to grab a snack, there's gonna be pretzels there too, and they're so nice because it's not those tiny little pretzel or pretzel sticks. Oh no, we're talking a big fluffy pretzel. You can't go wrong. And yes, it's okay if you dip it in the mustard as well. Now, if you're looking for something a little more fortifying, I know my dad, he liked this today. It's called Klöstel. And Klöstel, what it is, it's like roasted potatoes and chunks of pork and egg together. And it's really like Bauernfrühstück a bit, like if I think about it, when I think about my time living in Berlin, but it is really a very fortifying dish you do have down here. And you'll see in other parts as well, but it is good. But I will tell you this. if you just want to get a snack, something that's really, really Munich snack, you want to have with your pretzel bread, it's called Obazda. And Obazda is basically German, well, let's say Bavarian pimento cheese, okay? It's with brie or camembert. They mix it together, and it's got the spices in it, and you smear it on your bread, or you might dip your pretzel in it. Like, you see it, you're going, I don't know if I want some weird German cheese spread. Oh, no. It's amazing. Like, you need to have it. Though I will tell you, you will not be kissed by anyone for at least another 2 or 3 hours after you eat it, because it does have a little bit of a punch with your throat. Now, another München specialty is a Münchener Schnitzel. So you've heard of Wiener Schnitzel, Viennese-style cutlet, which is like veal smashed and then breaded and fried. Well, here, the Munich version is different. It's actually done with pork usually, and they smash it down, and then before they bread it and fry it, they kind of put sweet mustard and horseradish on it, and then bread it, and then fry it. Yeah, get that with some potato salad. You can't go wrong. Now, one of the best parts of coming to Munich is you get so many really great German specialties that they do really, really well. And one of the things Germans do great are their Beilage, their side dishes. And one thing you want to have is Spätzle. That is the noodles here, but you can get the noodles or you can get Käsespätzle, so cheese noodles. Usually with some onions in there too. Oh, you can't go wrong with that. But let's be honest, we're in Germany. They love their dumplings, their Knödel. And the thing is, when you come here, you might see potato dumplings. You might see bread dumplings. There's all kinds of different ones out there. And the thing is, it might be in a soup. Like you might have Leberknödel. Yeah, liver dumplings in a beef broth. Oh, so good for a soup. But those dumplings can be a side dish, or they can be with your soup or something. So good. But my favorite is the Semmelknödel, which is the bread dumpling. But there's actually another dumpling I'm going to talk about later when we talk about desserts, which is even better. But you don't get that everywhere, all right? So another side dish you're going to see all the time is some variation of cabbage. Yes, you will see sauerkraut, the sour cabbage ripped up, and you'll see that there. You'll see rotkohl or blaukohl, red cabbage or blue cabbage, which is a bit sweeter. That's what I really like. And you can actually get that if you get the Händel. The Händel is duck. And I will tell you, you can get duck here. I don't see it everywhere, but you get it, because it'll come with the red cabbage and one of the dumplings. So it's like 3 fantastic treats in one. You can't go wrong. Now, the thing is, when you come here to Munich, I got to tell you, pork is the prince here, okay? Because pork happens all the time. And Schweinbraten, roasted pork, you cannot go wrong with that. That's really good. My mom had that for lunch today, and I'm like, oh, I'll just sneak a little bit of that. Thank you very much. And that'll usually come with, a Knödel, a dumpling and sauerkraut. The thing is, when you go around, there's also tons of other sausages you can have when you're here. It's kind of like a street eat, but I think a street eat or something as simple to-go snack to have when you're walking around is Leberkäse, which direct translation means liver cheese, which is funny because in Bavaria, there's no liver in it, and there's definitely no cheese in it. It's basically German meatloaf, and you can have it cold or hot. They'll cut it about like this thick of a slice and put it in a bun for you or a roll, and you'll have that. That's kind of like an easy go-to snack when you're walking around. Honestly, I've been walking around all day today. I've seen plenty of guys walking around just having themselves some Leberkäse. So you remember those dumplings I was talking about? Yeah, there's a couple more of those that pop up. You've got the Dampfnudeln and the Germknödel. And these 2 dumplings are fantastic. And I got to tell you, the Germknödel, this one, it's moist, let's say, but inside is filled with plum jam. And they put vanilla sauce on top of it, and then morun, the little seeds on there as well. Oh, it's so good. It's a calorie bomb, don't get me wrong, but it's really, really good. And then you have the Dampfnudeln, or I like to call it the Dampfnudeln, but there's different names for it. But basically what this one is, it's kind of like, imagine a dinner roll dumpling that's kind of damp. I mean, that's why it's damp. But then they put the vanilla sauce on top. Basically, it's in a pool of vanilla sauce and covered with it. And then they pour cherries on top. Oh, cherry sauce. That is so good. A definite must. But I think one of the ones you really want to try, and this is one I'm going to butcher the name, the Apfelkuchen. Basically what it is, it's apple rings, and they batter them and fry them. And they are super good. Usually get like 3 or some, and they put cinnamon sugar on it. But do be careful, because that first bite, when they take them out, when they just fry them, because remember, apples have a lot of water in them, burns your mouth. So do be careful about that one, okay? And the thing is, there's so many desserts when you're here. There's the Prince Regent cake you can get, which is like 8 layers of cookie and chocolate icing. The Apfelstrudel, you can never go wrong with strudel, which is basically, some kind of fruit filling or some filling in there. Then it's wrapped around with dough and baked. That's fantastic.
So you're going to eat really well when you are here in Munich. That's not a problem, but I will give you some advice. One, if you're going to be here on the weekends, make sure you make reservations because so many tourists come here, so many people come here, and Germans love eating out with their friends and family on the weekend that they do book out, so you might not have a place to sit or a place to eat. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can always have your Leberkäse, but wouldn't you rather have the Schweinhaxe? Of course. Also, I want to tell you, if you're in the beer halls, don't think that you have the whole seat to yourself, or in the beer garden, that whole table is just yours. No, they're going to have multiple people sitting at that table, so do be prepared to get to know people. And you didn't think I wouldn't talk about the beer with those beer halls, did you? Of course not, because that is actually definitely part of the eats of coming to Munich is the beer. And there's 6 major breweries, but there's tons of other breweries when you're around. So definitely go check out a brewery when you're here. A lot of them will have restaurants in it as well, so you can eat and drink, and you can get the Weizen, the wheat beer. That's what I really love. Or maybe you want a Helles, like a light beer, or Dunkles, a dark beer, which is more robust. I mean, there's a lot of different beers you can have when you're here, so I'm not going to be worried about that. And the thing is, you can go to the Hofbrauhaus, which is a touristy place, which is still fun, but you get great beers and great fun anywhere around here. And also, since this is Germany, and even though these are some of the nicest people in Germany, I will tell you this when it comes to service. Don't expect over-the-top service, but don't be surprised if you're trying to get their attention, because it's very important that you order when you first get the opportunity. So when you order your drinks, order the drink, the appetizer, and the dinner at the same time, so you're not waiting for them to come back, because sometimes that can take a bit longer. One of the mistakes they make the most is actually trying to walk through Marienplatz when the Glockenspiel is going off, because the tourists just make a wall of cameras up there trying to get a video of it. So do be aware of that when you are here, because there are so many tourists that come here. It's crazy. So that's one thing. But also they make the mistake of thinking that the Glockenspiel goes off every hour. It doesn't. It only goes off 3 times a day, at 11 a.m., at noon, and at 5 p.m. That's the only time you get to see it. So at least move. And don't make the mistake of thinking it's something like incredibly crazy what it does. No, it just goes around. It's kind of cute. But yeah, the insanity when it comes to the Glockenspiel is nuts. Now let's get back to some of the bad things you need to realize when you come here. And since there's so many tourists that come here and so many people visit, there's obviously a lot of tours that are here. And I think one of the things you might not like is if you choose the wrong tour for you. Because believe me, with all the tourists that are here, there's tours for every language, not every language, but most languages out there. But also for criteria, like what are you looking for? Do you want a tour that focuses on drinking beer? Do you want a tour that focuses on doing architecture? Do you want one that talks about architecture, but you're really doing beer? You need to do your research on the tours when you come here, because that's one thing I've seen from travelers. They get really upset with the tours here in Munich because it's not the right ones they're looking for. Oh, I went with my kids and it's more of a beer drinking kind of thing. Oh, I did a bike tour, but all we did was go and ride to the English Garden and drink beer there. I'm like, well, yes, you'll notice there's a lot of beer theme in the biking and the going around kind of stuff. But honestly, it is worth your time to invest your time in doing research into the different tours you can take from here, whether it's a day tour, whether it's a city tour, and all kinds of things, to see what's really going to be right, because you can have an incredible experience. Because if you want a tour that just talks about the history of the Bavarian kings and gives you a walking tour within the residence kind of thing that goes with you, that can be great. Or if you want the history of beer in Bavaria tour, you can do that as well. But honestly, where I've seen the most tourists complain is really of getting the wrong tour, okay? So do be aware of that. And then I guess there's some other things I should say with my hate number 4 is some of the little Germanisms that you might need to know about before you come that you don't know about. Like when you get here, you'll notice the public transportation takes you everywhere. It is fantastic. The S-Bahn, U-Bahn, buses, trams, all those things, they're great. They go all over and you could just walk on. But the thing is some tourists don't realize you still have to buy a ticket. It's not free public transportation. It's open to freely walk in, but you have to pay, and they do have the checkers that come by. And if you got on without paying, they don't care if you're a tourist. They are going to fine you for not having your ticket on the train. So don't forget to do that. And of course, the German, Sundays, there's no shopping. And, I talk about how great the shopping is here, but that's something you need to be aware of that, it's closed on Sunday. It might close early during the night, so there's not a lot of late night shopping. So what I would recommend is make your dinner reservations. Oh yeah, because of all the over-tourism, make sure you make dinner reservations, okay? Make those at 8 o'clock at night. So when all the stores close, then you have nothing else to do. Oh, let's go out to eat. Let's go have a drink. Let's go do something. And that can help you out. Now, another thing that gets some tourists when you're here is the fact that cash is really important here. And I know a lot of people are like, I just want to use my phone to pay or my credit card. I don't want to carry cash. Well, in Munich, you still need to have cash. Like Germany is still cash is king. It's not as big of a king as it used to be. Maybe it's more of a Herzog now, like a duke or something. But it is still important. So you do need to have that. And that's one of those things that shock people. Like, wait, I have to have cash to use the toilet? Yeah, you're going to need a couple euros to go to the bathroom and public toilets kind of stuff. So that kind of thing really throws tourists off when they're here. Now, I know these kind of Germanisms are all over the country, but I think it's important to mention because so many tourists that their only German experience is here in Munich. So I want to be ready for those because honestly, the Bavarians, as friendly as they are, they can be pretty direct as well. So do be ready for that. You know, if you might get, so why are you so fat, Mark? You know, these kind of things out there, all right? Oh, but honestly, though, like the little Municisms and Germanisms that you really want to watch for that might, like, get you. Yeah, the bicyclists here. Like, people will ride on ice and snow and be like, why don't you get out of the way? I'm like, you're riding a bike in the ice and snow. Like, we can't move either. What are you doing? Like, the bicyclists here, it's like they're like, we own the city, and that can be a little annoying when you're walking around. And not just if you're walking in the bike lane. Make sure you're paying attention you're not in the bike lane. Because the bikers seem to think they own the city, and it just gets really, it can be dangerous sometimes, but it does get a little bit annoying. So that's why I kind of put in those bunch of little tiny annoyances, hates, for number 4 here. Hofbrauhaus? A tourist trap? Heck yeah! Hofbrauhaus? You definitely have to go and visit when you come at least once? Heck yeah! So that's why it's on this list of places that, yes, it's a tourist trap, but it is worth going to just for the fun of it. So let's talk about some of the mistakes people make when they go to beer halls, they come here to Munich. One mistake they make is thinking the Hofbrauhaus is the only beer hall in town. And there's tons. You have 6 major breweries. You can go to Schneiderweise and have a nice drink. But there are a lot of them out there. So don't think Hofbrauhaus is the only one. However, don't make the mistake of not going to the Hofbrauhaus. Because a lot of people feel it's just too touristy. So I don't want to go there because it's a touristy place. Look, it's on my list of tourist traps that are so worth going to. So you still should go there. Now, another mistake people make when they're at the beer halls and the beer gardens is they think that the table is all theirs. What you have to realize, the beer halls and the beer gardens, you have a seat, and other people can sit in those seats you're not sitting in. So don't think it's just yours. You're going to be sharing it with other people, right? So that's a good way to meet locals when you're here in Germany, is doing that. So don't think it's just yours. That's a mistake people make, because I see people go, why are you sitting here with us? Because there's no other where to sit. So another mistake people think is, oh, I'm not going to ask if that seat is free in the beer hall or at the beer garden. Just ask. Sit down. Make a local friend. Now, another thing is important to remember. One, don't make the mistake of trying to steal the glasses from the beer halls, the beer gardens, because they'll find you. Like Hofbrauhaus, like they'll be like, hey, you can't walk without. So you can buy all the beer glasses you see in all those beer halls here in Munich. You can buy them at the beer halls. You'll be fine. Don't try to steal them. I mean, you can get in trouble for that. And I think another mistake people make is they think the price you see on your first beer in some places is the only price. Remember, there's a deposit, a fund for like big beer glasses. Or if you come here at Christmas time, the Christmas markets, they have a fund, a deposit on those mugs. And honestly, it's expensive here, so it could be about 5 euros for that. And honestly, don't make the mistake of thinking Munich will be a cheap vacation, because Munich is never cheap. Ask the locals. Now let's talk about dinner. I think a mistake people make is not making dinner reservations when they're here in Munich, because this is such a popular tourist destination and so many people live here, and Germans love to eat out, especially on the weekends with their friends. You need to make sure you're making dinner reservations so you have a place to be. Otherwise, you might be out of luck or just grabbing a bratwurst on the street. I mean, don't get me wrong, you get good sausages here, but you want to go to some of those great restaurants that are here. And also, don't make the mistake of thinking it's just German food and Bavarian food here. They have fantastic foods all over the world here in Munich. But one of the mistakes people make when they do come to restaurants in Munich, and this is all over Germany, is do not wait to order, because the waiters and waitresses, you may say, oh, give me a minute. Your minute is 60 seconds. Their minute might be 15 minutes. I had to get English menus for my parents at this restaurant here, and literally the lady took 15 minutes to come back, and I'm like waving her down. So honestly, don't make the mistake of waiting to order. Just order your drinks and your starter and your main meal right away, so you're not waiting forever. The other mistake I think people make when they come to Munich is if you have any desire, any inkling of engineering, science, space, aerodynamics, anything, not going to the Deutches Museum is a mistake because it is one of the best science-based museums, and not just in Germany, not just in Europe, but in the world. I mean, it is a fantastic experience, so don't miss out on it because honestly, if you're any kind of science person at all, you will appreciate that museum. Now, if you're not looking for museums, you're looking more for the Oktoberfest thing, I think a mistake tourists make is thinking Oktoberfest 1 is in October. It actually ends the first week of October, starts 2 weeks before that. But the real mistake is they think they can just show up and go. What you have to realize, you need to pre-book hotels. We're talking months, maybe a year in advance to make sure you have a spot. So you might look at it as if you're in Germany at that time, maybe just come for a day trip to do Oktoberfest for the morning or the afternoon or whatever. Enjoy the rides, have some beer and all the fun. Yeah, because it's a good time. When I've been, it's worth going to at least once. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be an easy thing to do if you haven't been there. Because honestly, thinking you can just walk up and get a seat in the evening time, whoo, that's a big mistake. It doesn't matter if you're in Oktoberfest or any time here in Munich. A mistake tourists have is thinking they can pay with card everywhere. Now, you can't pay with card a lot of places. It's not as big of a deal as it used to be. But not having cash with you to pay for things really makes life a lot easier. If you're here at the winter time for the Christmas markets, cash is definitely still king at that time. So do be aware of that. And the thing is, if you're coming here in the winter or the summer, I think you should make the mistake of thinking that Bavarian weather is predictable. So we were coming to Munich and the 10-day forecast said, oh, you're going to have rain in Munich. Yeah, they ended up getting 44 centimeters, like 20 inches of snow instead. So it's always going to be changing. So make sure you have multiple layers when you come here. I mean, you can go shopping and buy anything you want here. It's not a big deal, but it's something I think you should realize that it's not necessarily going to be what the weatherman predicts. And speaking of predicting things, I could predict that either a cyclist or a mother with her carriage, her baby carriage, is probably going to try to run you over. I mean, you have to be careful when you're here and mistaking to think that the bikes will stop for you or the pram moms. No, they're not. They're going to run you over. So that's actually probably the most dangerous part of coming here. And one thing I got to say, Bavarians in general are super friendly. Munich and people here are great as well. But I think one thing tourists make the mistake of is they take the Bavarian bluntness personally. Don't. I mean, Germans in general are very blunt, and they're going to ask you questions that you might feel uncomfortable about, but they don't mean it in a bad way or try to get you like, I got you, ha ha ha. No, it's just how they are, so just kind of be ready for that. Now, some mistakes when you're here in Munich are just Germany-wide things, and I think a mistake tourists make is not having coins to use the public toilets, because with all the beer halls and all the fantastic drinks you can have here and fun times, you're probably going to need to hit the head occasionally, and sadly, public toilets in Germany are not free, so make sure you have a bunch of €1 coins so you can go pee, because honestly, paying to pee isn't fun. What's the fact of life here in Munich, all right? Now, when you are here, if you're lucky enough to find this treat, don't make this mistake. And that is the mistake of biting directly into an Apfelkuchen. It's basically a breaded apple ring that's fried. You might get 3, 5, 7, or whatever. How many you want to get? But the mistake people make is they bite into it right away. Now, remember, this is a freshly fried slice of apple. Apple has a lot of water in it. That is steaming hot, and it will burn your mouth. So do not just bite right into it. Be ready for that, because that can hurt quite a bit. And it's funny, because I started thinking about some of the silly little mistakes we all make when we're here. And one of those German mistakes is not making eye contact, because you're going to be making cheers. And I can't believe I didn't say this when we were in the beer hall, but giving people cheers and not giving eye contact. That is a very important thing here in Germany, especially in Bavaria, because if you don't make eye contact when you cheers, can be trouble. And always, you cheers from under. Immer von unten. Yeah, immer von unten, like from bottom, that's how you cheers, okay? Now, Munich is full of parks, and I think a mistake people make is they don't enjoy those parks, but specifically, they don't go and explore the English Garden. It is huge. It's bigger than Central Park or Hyde Park. I mean, you go there and you hang out, and there's so many different spots to go in there. There's fantastic beer gardens, like Chinese Tower Beer Garden, like you can go there, but there's so many different things to see there and just check out that I think people kind of remiss to not go and relax in the summertime. In the wintertime, don't worry about it. But in the summertime, it's funny and it's a good time. And yeah, and you might mistakenly walk into a park. You're like, wait, should I not have clothes on when I'm here? Yeah, they have that part of the garden as well. Now let's talk about some food mistakes people make when they're here. And I think one is people that don't take advantage of the pork. And when I talk about pork, we're talking pork shoulder, pork knuckle, roasted pork. I mean, you've got Haxe, Schweinhaxe, which is on my list. Like the best thing to eat here is roasted pork knuckle. Like you'll see it turning on a spit. It's so good. But there's so many different things from the sausage you have when you're here. I mean, being anti-pork, you really miss out on a lot of stuff. Now, if you don't eat pork because of religious reasons, you don't like it, there's plenty of other restaurants here, but it really is a mistake of not porking out when you get here because, honestly, the pig is good here in Munich. And the thing is, if you don't want pork, one of the actually kind of tasty treats people miss out on because they look at it and go, why would I order that, is Obazda. And Obazda is basically Bavarian pimento cheese. It is fantastic to dip your pretzel into it or smear it on your bread. It's like brie or camembert, mixed together with spices and stuff. It's actually really good. And you can have it as a snack. You can have it with your beer. I mean, I won't lie to you. Jocelyn won't kiss me after I eat it because it does have quite a potent kick afterwards. But it is something you should have when you're here. Oh, and going back to the pork kind of sausages thing, another mistake tourists make is they actually eat the casings of the Weisswurst, the white sausages. Don't worry, you can eat the casings, no problem. I actually usually do. But you'll notice some of the locals will actually only eat the insides of it and leave the casing out. You'll be fine, but that's one of those like little local things. I'll give a shout out to them. I just feel it's wasteful, so I eat all of it. But yeah, something to kind of think about it. Oh my gosh, the sweet mustard that goes with it. Don't forget to dip some bretzen in there as well. So good. Now, if you're here in Munich, you're going to hear about the Bavarian kings, Ludwig, Mad King Ludwig, and all these other kings that are out there. And I think it's one of those things is you're really making a mistake if you're not enjoying and learning about the Bavarian history here. And yes, you can go to the residence here in the city. It's very easy to do. It's fantastic. They have a nice Christmas market there actually in the wintertime. So that's not, well, the Christmas time, I should say, that's nice. But seeing the like residence here right in town is fantastic. Or at least maybe go out to the Nymphenburg Palace. It's a little bit farther out. It's in town. It's in Munich now, but it was their summer palace. That's kind of a cool thing to check out. And not really learning more about the Bavarian history of the royalty is kind of missing out on learning more about Bavaria. And yes, it's a mistake if you don't go inside the Frauenkirche and look for the devil's footprint, okay? So don't skip out on it. It's the symbol of the city. Now, for those of you that are flying in or flying out of Munich, another mistake I think people make is thinking the airport is close. The airport is not close. It is about a 45-minute taxi ride from the airport to the center or vice versa. And if you want to take the S-Bahn, the S8 goes from out there. And it's also about 45 minutes to get from there into town. And I'm going to tell you, I mean, don't make the mistake thinking it's cheap to get out there because if you take a taxi, we're talking like 100 euros to get out to the airport, okay? Because it is that far. So don't make that mistake. And as we get towards the end of the video, I think it's important to mention this. Don't make the mistake of just staying in Munich. Do the day trips. Go and explore other places. You can go down to Austria and see Salzburg and Innsbruck. You can go up to Nuremberg or Regensburg, see some other Bavarian great cities to visit. Also, Bamberg's fantastic. You want to go in the Alps? Yeah, you can go to Berchtesgaden. You can go to Garmisch-Partenkirchen. You can go to Zugspitze. There's so many great day trips from here. It's hard to find things you're not going to like about Munich as a tourist because this place is amazing, from the beer gardens and the beer hall to the museums to the people. I mean, it's a fantastic place to visit. And that kind of explains your number one hate when you come here to Munich. And that is all of the tourists here. And not just all the tourists, but I would say if there's a place in Germany that has over-tourism, it's here in Munich. And I'll tell you, go when the Glockenspiel goes off. It doesn't go off every hour, just so you know. But go when the Glockenspiel goes off, like at noon. It is completely packed with all the phones up and you're trying to get through things. Or maybe you're looking to get dinner sometime. You're like, wait, all the restaurants are booked out? It's a Wednesday in December. What's going on? Look, tourism is every single day here, every single season here. This isn't a place where it's only the summer there's tourists or only the winter there's tourists. It is all day, every day, all year round. So do be aware of that. So if you're looking to come here, you might want to book accommodations early. If you can get pre-booked tickets to certain events, do that so you don't have to deal with the lines because it can be a bit much. And I have seen tourists kind of lose it when it comes to other tourists when they're here. So to kind of avoid the over-tourism kind of thing, what I'd recommend if you're doing a Germany tour, have your Munich stop be during the week, like weekdays. It's a little bit better than, like, if you want to go to the Hofbrauhaus, and yes, it's super touristy, but it's so much fun, you'll get a better chance of getting a spot there, and it'll be a little bit more elbow room when you walk around the city, so do think of that. Now, the second thing you're not going to like when you come to Munich, and this is something that not just tourists don't like, but the locals as well, is just how expensive Munich is. I mean, honestly, as a traveler, as a tourist, this is definitely the most expensive city you're going to be going to on your German vacation, because you go to Berlin, there's all these deals. There's all these great places to go for hardly any money. You go to the Harz Mountains. It's completely cheap compared to here. Oh, I'm just going to go to Freiburg, the sunniest city in Germany. Yeah, fraction of the cost of coming here to Munich. And the thing is, it's not just for you and me as a tourist. Ask the locals that live here. They'll tell you living in Munich is expensive. I think it is actually the most expensive city to live in Germany. So whether it's accommodation, going out to eat, getting your souvenirs, your shopping, all kinds of stuff, yeah, you're going to spend a pretty penny when you do come here. And honestly, with those prices, even in the fund, the deposits are more here. So when you go into the beer garden to get your beer, which you're going to want to do, whether you go to the Chinese Tower, the Chinese beer garden in English Garden, or just a normal beer garden around, the deposits are more. Like, I've been going around Germany here at Christmas time, and usually the deposit is like, 2 or 3 euros, maybe 4 at one place I saw, but 2 or 3 euros is kind of like the going rate for like the deposit on those Christmas mugs. But here in Munich, I was seeing 5 euros. I mean, so it's like all kinds of stuff. The price gets a little bit expensive when you are here. But let's be honest, folks, you're coming here to Munich because this is the quintessential German experience for a lot of travelers, a lot of people around the world. Their idea of Germany is Bavaria, is going to Munich. It's the beer halls, the beer gardens, the museums, the residents, the castles, all kinds of stuff around the city. That's what we're here for. And that's the first thing you're going to love. This is your kind of dream, stereotype, everything you've ever imagined for Germany from all of the cartoons and movies you've ever watched, with the friendly Germans. Yeah, and you got the beer halls and all that stuff. Like, you really feel like, oh my gosh, all those stereotypes, all those things I've dreamt Germany to be is here. Whether I'm going to the Italian Markt, I'm going to the market here, I'm going to Marienplatz and seeing the Glockenspiel go off, if I'm going to the beer halls, I mean, it really is everything. Going to the Zugspitze and going to see going to hike in the mountains, and going to Garmisch-Partenkirchen and go hiking there or skiing there. I mean, you're going around and seeing all these things. Neuschwanstein, that Disney light castle that inspired Disney? Yes, that's right by here. So it's one of those things you come here like, this is everything I imagined. I can get the lederhosen. And I actually saw a local wearing lederhosen. How strange. It wasn't just tourists that were doing it. I mean, you do have this, and this is one of the things you just love because you come here, and Munich just makes you happy. I mean, that should be their slogan. Munich makes you happy, because when you come here, it really is all the fun things, whether it's the FKK culture, or the free body culture in the English Garden, when you're going by on your bike tour going, hey, are they naked? Yes, they are. But honestly, you can't beat it when you come here, because honestly, Munich, for a big city in Germany, definitely the Bavarians are friendly people, but like I gotta give Munich their props. I mean, Munchen, the people from here, they are really cool too. So they're gonna help you enjoy the city as well, even if you are a tourist, which is crazy. With all the tourists that do come here, they're still cool with them as well. So yeah, that's the first thing I love. It's like all my German stereotype hopes and dreams came true when I came here. Another one of those important little Germanisms you're not gonna like when you're here is paying to use the toilet. Like if you go to the train station, you go to places, there might be a Toilettenfrau, a lady working at the toilet that you might have to give €1 or 50 cents to. So that is one thing I know tourists don't like when they come to Germany. And since you're coming here to Munich, have your coins, because with all those beer halls, you're going to be maybe visiting the bathroom a bit more often. Now let's get back to some of the bad things you need to realize when you come here. And since there's so many tourists that come here and so many people visit, there's obviously a lot of tours that are here. And I think one of the things you might not like is if you choose the wrong tour for you. Because believe me, with all the tourists that are here, there's tours for every language, not every language, but most languages out there, but also for criteria, like what are you looking for? Do you want a tour that focuses on drinking beer? Do you want a tour that focuses on doing architecture? Do you want one that talks about architecture, but you're really doing beer? You need to do your research on the tours when you come here, because that's one thing I've seen from travelers. They get really upset with the tours here in Munich because it's not the right ones they're looking for. Oh, I went with my kids and it's more of a beer drinking kind of thing. Oh, I did a bike tour, but all we did was go and ride to the English Garden and drink beer there. I'm like, well, yes, you'll notice there's a lot of beer theme in the biking and the going around kind of stuff. But honestly, it is worth your time to invest your time and doing research into the different tours you can take from here, whether it's a day tour, whether it's a CD tour, or all kinds of things, to see what's really going to be right, because you can have an incredible experience. Because if you want a tour that just talks about the history of the Bavarian kings and gives you a walking tour within the residence kind of thing that goes with you, that can be great. Or if you want the history of beer in Bavaria tour, you can do that as well. But honestly, where I've seen the most tourists complain is really of getting the wrong tour, okay? So do be aware of that. And then I guess there's some other things I should say with my hate number 4 is some of the little Germanisms that you might need to know about before you come that you don't know about. Like, when you get here, you'll notice the public transportation takes you everywhere. It is fantastic. The S-Bahn, U-Bahn, buses, trams, all those things, they're great. They go all over, and you could just, like, walk on. But the thing is some tourists don't realize you still have to buy a ticket. It's not free public transportation. It's open to freely walk in, but you have to pay, and they do have the checkers that come by. And if you got on without paying, they don't care if you're a tourist. They are going to fine you for not having your ticket on the train. So don't forget to do that. And of course, the German, hey, Sundays, there's no shopping. And, I talk about how great the shopping is here, but that's something you need to be aware of that, it's closed on Sunday. It might close early during the night, so there's not a lot of late night shopping. So what I would recommend is make your dinner reservations. Oh yeah, because of all the over-tourism, make sure you make dinner reservations, okay? Make those at like 8 o'clock at night. So when all the stores close, then you have nothing else to do. Oh, let's go out to eat. Let's go have a drink. Let's go do something. And that can help you out. Now, another thing that gets some tourists when you're here is the fact that cash is really important here. And I know a lot of people are like, I just want to use my phone to pay or my credit card. I don't want to carry cash. Well, in Munich, you still need to have cash. Like Germany, still cash is king. It's not as big of a king as it used to be. Maybe it's more of a Herzog now, like a duke or something. But it is still important. So you do need to have that. And that's one of those things that shock people. They're like, wait, I have to have cash to use the toilet? Yeah, you're going to need a couple euros to go to the bathroom and public toilets kind of stuff. So that kind of thing really throws tourists off when they're here. Now, I know these kind of Germanisms are all over the country, but I think it's important to mention because so many tourists that their only German experience is here in Munich. So I want to be ready for those because honestly, the Bavarians, as friendly as they are, they can be pretty direct as well. So do be ready for that. If you might get, so why are you so fat, Mark? These kind of things out there, all right? Oh, but honestly, though, like the little Municisms and Germanisms that you really want to watch for that might, like, get you. Yeah, the bicyclist here. Like, people will ride on ice and snow and be like, why don't you get out of the way? I'm like, you're riding a bike in the ice and snow. Like, we can't move either. What are you doing? Like, the bicyclists here, it's like they're like, we own the city, and that can be a little annoying when you're walking around. And not just if you're walking in the bike lane. Make sure you're paying attention you're not in the bike lane. Because the bikers seem to think they own the city, and it just gets really... It can be dangerous sometimes, but it does get a little bit annoying. So that's why I kind of put in those bunch of little tiny annoyances, hates, for number 4 here. Now, another thing you're going to love about coming to Munich is just all of the museums and sites you have when you come here. I mean, there's incredible art collections here. I mean, you have the Alte Pinothek, the Neue Pinothek, the Pinothek de Moderne. I mean, there's just fantastic art, but also history. The residence here, yeah, you can go see the Bavarian King's royal residence in this city. It is a entirely cool visit to do. Or you can go and see some of the amazing churches that are here. Yes, you can go to the Frauenkirche, the one with the onion dome you see all over the place, and go see the devil's footprint. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not, I don't know, but I'm not taking a chance. We have these beautiful churches you can go visit, and there's just so many sites to see. Other museums, I mean, there's a hunting museum you can go and see when you're here. If you're not sure, that's the one that has the wild boar in front of it. You can go there, but honestly, there's so many great museums. And if you're a science person like myself, I love science, I love space, I love aerospace, engineering and everything. Probably the best, like, space, engineering, science museum, like, technical museum in Europe is the Deutches Museum, the German museum. It's actually down by the river. It is incredible to go and check out. Like, that's something you're going to love. But they have smaller museums, too. There's a Spielzeug museum, a toy museum you can go see in the Old Town Hall. I mean, it's just fantastic. You go around seeing, oh, maybe you don't want to be in the center. You're tired of getting run over by all those tourists. Go out to the Nymphenburg Palace, the summer residence of the Bavarian Kings, and you're like, oh my God, this is just gorgeous. What's with all the pink and salmon colored? It's just great. I mean, that's one of the things you really enjoy when you come here is just how many things you can see and do when you're here. And that's why, when I'll talk about later, making this a really good base to see other things, because there's literally something you can do every single day. And you know what? If you don't want to do like museums with, paintings and artwork and all those Pinotek museums and the other art museums around town. Of course, you can go to the art that is car design, and you can go to the BMW Welt or BMW World and Museum. So, Bayerische Motorwerken, Bavarian Motorworks is from here in Munich. And so you can go and see their museum and the Werkstatt kind of thing they have there. It's really kind of a cool thing to do, especially if you're a BMW fan or just a car fan in general. It's so cool. And the thing is, there's so many museums that are here that, I talked about how pricey it can be when you come here to Munich. And I know a lot of these museums, the prices can add up if you're going to multiple museums. But one of the things that's cool is they actually have reduced discount, ticket days for some of these museums, sometimes on Sundays or, different days of the month. I mean, look for those because you can save some serious cash and get a really good bang for your buck when you're here on certain days. And it might mean you have a power tour of museums one day, but it can literally save you tens and tens of euros going and doing that versus going to all the museums individually. So all kinds of stuff. But honestly, there's so many great things to see. St. Peter's Church. I haven't gone into the churches that are here. Some of the front in St. Peter's. There's just a really lot of great sights to see here, and it will fill up your time. And that's why you probably notice I've been putting up all these things saying other things to see when you're here, because honestly, there's always something to do in Munich because there's events, there's concerts. Yes, you can go out to the Allianz Arena and you can go watch Bayern Munich play and probably win if they're in the Bundesliga game. So, kind of a fun thing to do. Now, the third thing you're going to love about coming to Munich is the shopping. And when I say shopping, I mean all types of shopping. You have high-end shopping here when you're in Munich. You have low-end shopping when you're here in Munich. You have great vintage stores. You have little boutiques. You have bigger boutiques. You have all kinds of cool shopping. Oh, you want to get your souvenirs? This is a great place to get it. You want to get that cuckoo clock? Yeah, you can get that. You want to get the Trachtenware? The lederhosen stuff? You can get that here too. But honestly, if you're looking at shopping in Germany, I mean, it's Munich, Cologne, and Hamburg are the three best places to shop when you're here. Berlin's cool too. But honestly, shopping, you're going to love it when you do it here because there's so many options. And what's cool is it's one of those times if you're in one of the smaller shops, you get to meet some of those fun, cool Bavarians, all right? So stop by your shopping when you're here. How about the economy? I mean, honestly, when it comes to shopping, you can get the most cheesy German gifts you ever wanted. You can find them here, okay? So for fun or cheesiness or serious stuff, other stores get nice things, but honestly, they got it all. Don't think it's just, the cheap souvenir stuff. They have good shopping. I'm telling you, there's some nice stuff here. So love number 4 when you come here to Munich is the beer. And I don't just mean the beer as in what you drink. I'm talking about the whole beer experience when you come here. When you're here in the summertime and you go to the beer gardens, you're sitting there having your pretzel and having your big old mosses, your big old beers there, just meeting the locals where everybody goes out. It's a fantastic experience when you're here. And you just love it because that's when the locals really come out to have a good time. But also the beer halls. Yes, of course, there's the Hofbrauhaus. You can always go there. Yes, it's touristy, but you know what? It's a fun time. You see locals and tourists going there to get their big beers and the Oompa bands and all that kind of stuff. But I got to tell you, don't think that the Hofbrauhaus is the only beer hall. There's tons of beer halls you can go to. We actually go to the Augustiner Bierhalle quite often when we come here. The restaurant next with it has actually some good food too. So if you don't want to get the over-the-top crazy tourist when you are here with it, this could be a good option. But honestly, just enjoying going to the English Garden, go to the Chinese, the Chinese beer garden, the Chinese Tower Beer Garden there, and just taking that in the summer times or even in the neighborhoods around the city. There's always a beer garden around, or just sit down and grab one of the many beers because there's the 6 major breweries that are here. There's plenty of craft breweries too, so you can have all kinds of different kinds of beer when you're here. So don't pass up that beer experience when you do go. And what's cool is you can have a good time at the beer hall even if you don't drink beer, all right? And it's the same thing with Oktoberfest. If you're an Oktoberfest with a beer kind of thing, you can go to the beer tents and have a good time there. But also there's rides, there's great foods, all kinds of fun stuff. So yeah, 4th thing you're definitely going to love is the whole beer experience when you're here in Munich. Now the 5th thing you're not going to like when you come here to Munich is actually, I would call it your Bahnhof experience, your train station experience. I mean, it is utter chaos in the Munich train station, the Hauptbahnhof, the main station. They're rebuilding it, so you have a lot of construction, a lot of things going on there. But just the whole area around there really is not really a fun place to be. Take your train in and then go get out and go explore the city. I don't know if you really want to stay right by there. I mean, it's only maybe a 10, 15-minute walk to get to here from there. But honestly, just the whole thing, and then, the guys that are begging outside with the dogs occasionally, and the trying to figure out getting from the S-Bahn to the U-Bahn to the trains, it can be a bit confusing. So if you do have to take a train when you're here, and I want to talk about the loves, so you will, just know, give yourself time and make sure you're looking around where you need to be. And don't plan to just stay a lot of time in the train station there, because honestly, that's one of the least good parts of this beautiful city. And the thing is, though, for the fifth bullet I have for you is all the fantastic day trips you can do, because honestly, Munich makes a fantastic base for Germany. That's why some people just come and stay here, and their entire vacation of 2 weeks is just staying in Munich and exploring places all around, because you have really great day trips. I mean, if you want to go to see the mountains and the Alps, you have Garmisch and Partenkirchen. You can go to the Zugspitze and see the mountains there. You want to go to other famous cities? Oh, Salzburg? Yeah, go to Salzburg, Austria. Hour and 45 minutes away. Innsbruck, Austria. Hour and 45 minutes away. You want to go see the concentration camp Dachau to see what the concentration camps were like? You can go there. It's a very moving experience. I recommend you go, but be ready, because it will move you to tears when you're there. But there's so many other things you can go to. Regensburg, Bamberg. I mean, there's so many fantastic... Nuremberg, just go see all the stuff there. I mean, there's just so... We have a video about the day trips of Munich that are just great. But honestly, it makes such a great base for you to explore so many more parts. Going to Oberammergau and seeing the buildings where they're painted, like the fairy tales are painted on the side of the building. I mean, you're going to love it. And that's what's so nice about Munich is the people are friendly. You want to be here, but you want to stay here more. And that's why so many tourists come here. But it really lets you explore more of Bavaria when you're down here. And Austria as well. So don't pass up that chance, because you're going to love it, that you can see so much when you're here. I think probably the one that most people think of when I think of Munich is going to Neuschwanstein Castle. You know, the Disney-looking castle, the one that inspired Disney to make it, Mad King Ludwig's castle. Yes, you can go to the Neuschwanstein Castle, and I'm going to tell you, if you think it looks crazy from the outside, you should see some of the rooms on the inside. It is amazing. What's even cooler is when you go there, it's not just the castle. There's a town called Füssen. You can go and visit. It's a nice, cute little, Bavarian town you can see as well. So you kind of put two in one. So that's a really nice thing. And if I start thinking about more of the nature-based day trips, you've got Garmisch-Partenkirchen, which a lot of people think is two towns. It's actually two towns that merge into one town. And you go there, that's where you have your hikes, and if you want to go skiing and stuff like that in the wintertime, hiking in the summer, like I said, but the views, the Alps from there is gorgeous. Now, another alpine adventure you can do is you can go to Brexgarten. And Brexgarten, another cute town you can visit. You got the hiking, all kinds of stuff in the Alps. But probably why you're going to go there is you're probably going to go to the Eagle's Nest. That's the old, Hitler's old bunker kind of thing. You can go, well, it's not a bunker, it's in the mountain. But you can go and take the elevator up. I mean, it's beautiful views, but it is a part of history you can do on a day trip. And talking about a historical thing you should visit when you are here, which is a horrible, horrible stain on mankind, you can actually go to Dachau, the concentration camp right outside of Munich. You can go there and really see some of the atrocities. And I'm not going to lie to you, it is a moving experience. Like, you'll probably be in tears after you've been there when you see the horrors that transpired there. And I do recommend people going there to see it so they understand what the Nazi concentration camps were really like. And it is a moving experience. So I do recommend going to it. Even if you take little kids, there's certain parts maybe you don't want to take them to. But honestly, it was a very, very important thing for me to go see with my kids, and I took them. But also a day trip you can do. And that's actually here in Munich, basically, like you're taking the local train to get out there. I forgot. There's another kind of outdoorsy thing you can do. You can go to Zugspitze, the mountaintop. You can go up there, so that's nice. But usually when you're thinking day trips, you're thinking, I got to go to other towns. Now, one super cute one is Oberammergau. At Oberammergau, it is this Bavarian village. You take the train out to it, but when you get there, you'll notice that the buildings, there's literally like fairy tales painted on the side of the buildings. It is so cool. I've been there a few times, and then Christmas time, it's gorgeous, but any time of the year is fantastic. Now, if you're looking for actual cities you want to go to when you come here, there are some really close cities by Munich you can see within an hour to 2 hours away, maybe a little bit farther, that I highly recommend. Number one, you've got Nuremberg. Okay, when you go to Nuremberg, you have the German National Museum there. It is an incredible museum to talk about the history of Germany. You've got the fortress up on the hill you can go see. I mean, it is beautiful. You've got St. Lawrence Church. You got the Frauenkirche there as well, another church you'll see. But also, it is kind of like the Christmas capital of Germany. So you're there at Christmas time. The Christmas markets are fantastic. Tons of museums. It's really great dates that easy to do. And you can get back and forth, no problem, in a day and spend a lot of time there. Another great city you can go to is Regensburg. When you go there, there's like a 12th century bridge. It doesn't go all the way across the river anymore, but you can get the Regensburger Bratwurst when you're there. The cathedral there is fantastic. That's another great day trip, maybe an hour and a half away. You're going to go a bit farther, go Nuremberg, and a bit farther up, you've got Bamberg, which is a great, like, Catholic city that has fantastic smoked beer. You can go there. Tons of breweries, but also probably the prettiest town hall in Germany. You can go there. And actually some of the nicest people in Germany. That's in the Franken region of Bavaria. So that's a kind of a cool thing you could do. I mean, there's all kinds of cities around that you can really take in. And also you can do easy day trips to Austria, Salzburg. I mean, literally, it's like an hour and 45 minutes away. Salzburg, Austria has some fantastic places to visit. The cathedral there, it's one of the largest Baroque cathedrals anywhere, which is really cool. You got the Hohen Salzburg, the fortress on the top that has a bunch of museums up there. There's a modern art museum. There's a public museum in there. Fantastic things to see. Of course, it's also Mozart's birth town. So you have his birth home that's there, his living house that's there. You've got great shopping and just, I mean, the Austrian food is good too. So you have that. So that's cool. If you want to go more mountainy, you could go to Innsbruck, Austria, also about an hour and 46 minutes away, hour and 45 minutes away. You go there. I mean, you have the Golden Roof, because the Hofburg, that was like one of Hofburg's like spots. So they have the Hofburg, which is the city palace. They've got the Ambras Castle outside of town, which is totally cool. Like, they have this room of wonders or weirdnesses. Like, you should check it out. It's pretty cool. The collection they had. But also just going in the castle, seeing the Spanish Hall is beautiful, but just wandering around Innsbruck, I mean, everywhere you look, it's just gorgeous. And actually, the Alpine Zoo that's in Innsbruck, great for the family as well. You can take the funicular up, and I mean, it's a really great experience. But honestly, there are so many great day trips from here in Munich. You're really making a mistake only staying in Munich, because Munich's great, but you have so many other things you can do. It'd be silly to pass up. I mean, you can take the Deutsche Bahn or one of the other company trains around here to get there, to enjoy it. Go for it, because you're going to have a great time.
The first thing that shocks a lot of tourists when they come here is how many places you can go drink beer. The beer halls, the beer gardens, the beer stubas, the Wirtshauses, all these places that sell beer in many different sizes and many different flavors and many different kinds of beer. They're everywhere around here, and it's really good beer. And those places also serve a lot of pork. So that's why I kind of put that first shock is all the ways you can buy beer and pork when you are here in Munich. It is quite shocking. So make sure you do go to the beer halls and you do go to the German restaurants here, because this is the place where you can get really good German food and really good German beer all the time. I know other places in Germany, sometimes it's hard to find German food. Here you get that kind of traditional German Bavarian food, which is really good. So do get out there and have your beer and your pork. Now, the second thing that shocks people when they come here is when they actually see the 1 liter beer. In the US, we call it a beer stein, but here it's a Maß, a 1 liter beer. Yes, you might be holding it with 2 hands to drink it, and you will see lots of tourists trying it out, but you'll also see locals doing that. And the thing is, those 1 liter beers, you don't have them everywhere in Munich. It's only some of the beer halls and some of the restaurants, especially those that cater to tourists, because they know we tourists really like to have that. But yes, you can get 1 liter of beer in one go. And it is pretty fun when you go to those beer halls. And this kind of leads into the third thing that kind of shocks people when they come here is with all the beer and all the pork and all the tourists that come here, the public bathrooms are actually pretty clean, which is shocking when you think of beer and pork and tourists. Usually does bad things to people's tummies, but honestly, the public bathrooms here, totally okay. So if you're out and about, you can hit a public bathroom, no problem. Sometimes you might need to leave 50 cents or something. Sometimes you don't have to pay at all, but just so you know, public bathrooms, A-okay here in Munich. Now, the fourth thing that shocks people when they come here is, yes, this is Beer City, Germany, but actually there's more than just beer here in Munich. This city has so many amazing museums. If you like art, the old Pinothek, the new Pinothek, the Pinothek of the modern. If you want to see the history, they have the residence here in town where the Bavarian kings were. You have the Nymphenburg Palace kind of towards the outskirts of town. There's all kinds of great museums. The Deutches Museum, probably the best science and industry museum in Europe. It is amazing here. I mean, the BMW museum's here. If you like toys, there's a toy museum right by the Glockenspiel at the new town hall. You're going to look and see and watch at 11 o'clock every day, by the way. Glockenspiel, 11 o'clock every day. And also 12 and 5 in the summer, but just know, 11 o'clock, you've got it. So you can go to the toy museum that's right there in the old town hall. I mean, there's all kinds of great things to do here aside from hitting the beer halls. And I think a lot of people don't realize as they come here, this is a capital of the Bavarian kingdom, okay? So they have all the Bavarian assets, all this kind of stuff. This is one of the most richest places in Germany. And you see that with the architecture and you see it with the museums and the historical stuff here. It is really cool. So just remember, shockingly, that, hey, Munich Munich is not just beer, it's culture as well. Now, the fifth thing I have for you in terms of shocking people is, this is one, if you take like a bike tour or you're wandering through the parks and stuff like that, if you go to the Englischer Garden, you will see naked people of all shapes, all sizes, all colors, all creeds. There is a lot of different naked people out on the English Garden. And the thing is, here in Germany, nudity's no big deal. I could go lay out there, no one's really gonna care. But for a tourist that's doing their tour and they're checking out the English Garden, this beautiful park here in Munich, sometimes they go, oh my goodness, I just saw something I didn't know I wanted to see. You're gonna see it, and you're gonna see it a lot. And there'll be families, and there'll be old people, there'll be all kinds of stuff. And you don't have to be naked, but there's just all this stuff going around, and it does shock tourists, because you see the bike tours and they go through, and people just go, oh, as they walk, as they drive by. So it is a little shocking for some of us that come from more modest cultures, let's say. Now, the sixth thing that might shock you when you come here is this place is packed with tourists. Well, I guess it wouldn't be that shocking because it has, you know, the beer halls and the great museums, but honestly, this is a big coming in point from people from all over the world into Germany. It's probably the most important tourist city in Germany. So you have tons of people coming in. So your flights here are going to be packed. They're going to be a little bit more pricey. The hotels are more pricey because all these tourists. But the thing is, it's not just the tourists that come here. The Germans want to live here too, because Bavaria is doing pretty well and people really like being here, so the prices get driven up. Okay, so high tourists, lots of tourists, and all the people want to be here means higher prices, long lines, stuff like that, being packed in certain spots if you're going to certain museums. So what I recommend is, if you come in off season or shoulder season, literally you can have Munich almost to yourself. But just know, man, July, August, Oktoberfest, oh my god, you will be packed full of people and you'll be paying sky-high prices. So just a heads up for that one. Now, the seventh thing on our list is, yes, that is the Disney Castle. Look, outside of Munich, there's the Neuschwanstein Castle that you can go to, and that's the one you see in all of the tourist brochures for Germany, and you're like, wow, that looks like Cinderella's castle. Of course it does, because Walt Disney was inspired by the Neuschwanstein Castle and some other castles, but you can see how it really influenced Disney when he made that castle. And you're going there, and it's crazy inside, because King Ludwig that made that, he was a bit bonkers, and there's some really crazy rooms in there. But the thing is, it does shock you, like, wait, it's a Disney castle, but we're on Disney. No, Disney got the idea from them here, okay? And that leads us into the eighth thing that shocks people when they come here is, Munich is not just Munich. You can go and explore so much when you are here in Munich, because this makes a great base to go see some really awesome cities. You want to try the smoked beer in Bamberg? You can head out that way. You want to go to Nuremberg and see the German National Museum or see the best Christmas markets in Germany? That's not far from here. Going to Regensburg and eat sausages that they've been selling there for hundreds and hundreds of years, they have, that's just really close by too. Oh, you want to see another country? You can jump on the train, hour and a half, you're in Salzburg, Austria, one of the most prettiest towns in the world. It's so close by. Oberammergau, where they paint on the sides of the building and stuff like that. Or yes, you can go to Neuschwanstein and see the castle there and the Fuss and the town right by there to have this kind of old world Germany feel. You can have that here, and it shocks people when they go, wow, I don't just have to stay in Munich. No, you can base here and see so many other places. It is really awesome. Now, the ninth thing I have that shocks you is when you go to Dachau. Dachau is one of the Nazi concentration camps, and it's not that far from downtown Munich. You can get there very easily on the S-Bahn, and you'll be shocked how somber you feel after you go through there. When you read through what the people went through at Dachau and the other concentration camps, it really does, like, it breaks your heart. And so that will be one thing I say, is like, it kind of shocks people just how, my God, what have we done? What happened? All these kind of things, these feelings you have there. But then also you're shocked when you see tourists doing their selfie promotions at a concentration camp. I mean, come on, people, have some respect. And I've been to Dachau quite a few times, because whenever I come here with friends or students or whatever, I always take them out there to see it. And it is very somber. And then sometimes the students and I have seen people doing that. We're like, what the hell are you doing? So just know, you go out there, you'll be shocked how you feel, but also you want to smack some people for how disrespectful they are. And the thing is, those people that are being disrespectful, those aren't the Munich people. Those aren't the Bavarian people. Because the 10th thing that you're going to be shocked about is how friendly and outgoing and wonderful the people of Munich and Bavaria are. Look, I know Germany's got this kind of bad stereotype that they're unfriendly and cold and heartless and stuff like that. Look, that is not the case, especially here in Bavaria and in Munich. The people are so nice. They really are wonderful. They will help you out. When you go into the stores, they're going to say, Grüß Gott. I mean, they do that for everybody, but they have this welcoming nature about them. And it's shocking when you've had these stereotypes your whole life about how Germans are so cold and stuff like that. And you're like, no, the Bavarians are wonderful people, and Munich especially, you'll have a great time. So try to get to meet some people. When you go to the beer hall, halls and you go to stuff like that, talk to your waiters. Talk to some of the locals that go there too, because yes, the locals go to Oktoberfest and they go to these beer places too sometimes, okay? And so you get to meet them, and they do speak English pretty well here, but try a little German. It really opens them up, and you'll really see how wonderful the people are here. Oh, I guess I'll give you one more little shocking thing is Oktoberfest starts in September. Look, Oktoberfest wasn't really started for a beer festival, it was for a wedding. And the thing is, the festival it's a 2-week festival that ends the first weekend in October. So if you want to come here, you're looking at towards the end of September through the first weekend of October. You will need to book early because the places book out and prices go through the roof. Also, you might be shocked that they won't serve you beer in the beer tents at Oktoberfest unless you're sitting down at a table, okay? So you might be thinking, yes, I'm going to go to Oktoberfest, and I've been, and it is really fun. Yes, it's super touristy, but it's so fun. And I talked to these old Germans when we were there, and young Germans, and people from all over the world, and it is really cool. So do enjoy it, but just know that, hey, they might not serve you, and it's in September. Who knew? Anyway, first thing I want to tell you is when you come here to Munich is realize that, look, the Hofbrauhaus is not the only beer hall in town. Yes, it is the most touristy, the most fun with the Oompa bands, but there are a lot of other brew houses and beer halls around the city that you can go to. If you want to go to, have a nice sit down, one I usually go with my mom to and stuff like that, the Augustina Brauhaus is a good place to go. And there's all kinds of other places around here, so just know there's more options than just the touristy Hofbrauhaus. But it is still fun to go to, so you should definitely check that one out. Now, the second tip we have for you is realize that this is not just Beer City, Germany. This is also Museum City, Germany. There are tons of great museums here in Munich. You go to the Alte Pinothek, the New Pinothek, the modern Pinothek. There's all kinds of great museums that have history and masters and all kinds of stuff around town. Over here, you have the Residence Museum, where the kings of Bavaria were and the dukes and all those things. It's amazing to go inside. There's all kinds of great museums here. The BMW Museum. You can go to the Toy Museum that's by the, in the old town hall. You can go to the Deutches Museum, which is probably the coolest like science and industry museum in Europe. Awesome. So remember, it's not just beer, there's culture and museums here too. Now, my third tip for you is use the Bayern ticket and go explore Bavaria from here. Munich makes a great base, but you can go out and see Nuremberg, where you have the castle on the hill and the best Christmas markets in Germany, or you can go to Regensburg and have the Roman bridge there, go to Bamberg for the smoked beer, or head to Oberammergau where they've painted the walls of the town, or go to Neuschwanstein, that Disney castle, the castle that Disney based Cinderella's castle off of. That's right by here. You can go there on easy day trips, and that's why Munich makes a really great base to be here and then explore out to all different locations. You want to go to another country? You can get to Salzburg in an hour and a half. Easy, cheap, and fun with all kinds of great stuff to see. So the fourth tip I have for you has to do with the Glockenspiel. I know a lot of you see the Neues Rathaus, or the new town hall, and yes, it looks old, but it is the new one. Okay, and you see the Glockenspiel, the little clock that moves around and everything, and you want to see it when you're here. Look, it goes off at 11 o'clock in the morning every single day. In the summer, it goes off more times, like 12 and 5, but the guaranteed time is 11, okay? And our fifth tip for you, you need to realize is that Munich is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world, and especially obviously here in Germany. One, because of the great museums, but also for Oktoberfest in September until the first week of October. So if you're going to be coming for Oktoberfest, you really need to book your hotel rooms way in advance. You might need to stay outside of town in one of these other cities you visit. Also, if you want to get a table in one of the tents in the evenings, you have to reserve that way in advance. So do know that. Also, because all the tourists and all these stuff here, this is one of the most expensive cities in Germany. So just make sure you bring a little bit more money when you come to Munich, because you will spend more than you will in a place like Berlin or Heidelberg or Rothenburg. So now, I won't lie to you guys, it is hard to find 5 things to hate in Munich. So I'm really reaching this time for some of these. All right, but the things to love are very easy. Munich is definitely one of the top 10 places you want to check out in Germany, in Central Europe, hell, even in Europe, it's probably one of the top 10 or 11 places to go check out, and because it is a fun place. Now, for that, I want to give you guys some tips, okay? So first, you guys know, I always like giving the bad news first, and even Munich has a few bad things, okay? The first thing you want to know is it's expensive here. To stay, to eat, to shop, because they got great shopping here, it is expensive, okay? So prepare your wallet accordingly, because going out to the beer halls and eating and drinking and buying your lederhosen and things like that, these are all expensive things, okay? So be prepared, okay? So it is expensive. Little advice, if you're a backpacker going through, find a friend
that's also staying at the hostel, and go get a cheaper hotel, because the hostels, 2 people in the hostel usually nowadays are actually more expensive than staying at one of the cheaper hotels. So why not have your own room without 8 other people snoring when you can just have your one friend snoring, okay? So a little advice to get around that expensive place to stay, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing you're going to hate about here, this one goes on the love and hate, are the beer halls. Guys, the whole city, whole tourism thing seems, it's not all geared towards beer, but a lot of people feel that way. So they feel they have to go and they have to do the beer hall thing, and it can get a little tacky and loud and boisterous and drunk people all over. Okay, so if you're not into beer and you're not into drinking, you're probably not going to like the beer halls. Okay, but if you are into drinking and having a good time like that, you will like it, but that'll come up in the 5 things you'll love. So the second thing you're not going to love are the beer halls if you're not a drinker. I also have had a lot of people complain that when they go on some of the biking trips and things like that, they all end up in a beer garden, and the people that don't drink kind of feel like they get robbed because, hey, I didn't pay to sit an hour at a beer garden, I'm paid to ride a bike. So be careful of that. So if you're looking for bike tours or walking tours, ask them if they have any of the beer garden stuff, and if you're not into beer, then choose a different tour, okay? The third thing that you're gonna not like about here is not really a bad thing, it's just, it's sad you're gonna miss out on. Bavarians and Munich people, and Bavarians in general, this part of Germany, are the nicest Germans around. They are friendly, they're nice, they help you, they're all kinds of stuff. However, the older people don't speak much English. So, and the young people do speak English, but your lack of German will make it hard for you to truly appreciate the Bavarians and the Munich people that are here, because they are really nice. Okay, even if you talk to other Germans, they'll tell you, Bavarians, the people from Munich, they're great. The Bayern, they're great people, they're good people, and they'll all tell you that. But the problem is, if you don't speak German, it's going to be hard to kind of break into it, okay? So still be friendly and nice, but if you speak German, it'll help. So watch some of our German videos when you're here, and you'll have a good time, okay? The fourth thing you're not going to like about coming here is, guys, this is such a popular tourist place. There's huge crowds, okay? And if you get stuck behind a tour group, you're screwed, because you get stuck behind them going to Dachau in line. If you get stuck out going to the residence, things like that, you get run over by them. They don't stop, they just run you over. So the tourist crowds and the tour groups will really bother you, because if you're an independent traveler like myself and my family, you kind of feel like you get pushed to the side. And believe me, I've given a full share of forearm shivvies to people that have knocked my kid down, which does happen, okay? So you're not going to like the big tourist groups, so watch out for those. And the fifth thing you're not going to like about here, and guys, I'm really searching, is there's a lot of cheese ball gifts here, okay? Whether it's the Oktoberfest hats, or the beer mugs, or the lederhosen, or the cuckoo clocks. There does seem to be a lot of, or Christmas things. There seems to be a lot of kind of cheese ball things, gifts, stuff like that. And a lot of people like to buy things to take home. It's not a lot of things you can actually show off that you get here that are affordable. There are stuff you can buy, but when you get the cool stuff to show in your house, then it gets kind of expensive, so most of it's cheese ball stuff. Like I said, I'm searching for things to hate here, okay? So the first thing you're not going to like about here is it is expensive to eat, to stay, to shop. 2, if you're not into beer, you're not going to like the beer halls, so don't bother going, okay? You can walk through and then leave. Third thing you're not going to like, the fact that you don't speak much German, you're going to miss out on the great Bavarian, the people, because they are great people here. The fourth thing you're not going to like about it are the tourist crowds, because you will get run over, whether it's the Glockenspiel, the moving at the town hall, there's the clock that goes around, okay? That there, or the museum, stuff like that. And the fifth thing you're not going to like is you're not going to find like the really cool gifts and souvenirs, stuff like that. Sorry, the sun's kind of blinding us, so I'll kind of move this a little bit over here. Whoa. Okay. Now, those things you're not going to like. But guys, believe me, there's so much to like in Munich that don't even worry about things you're not going to like, okay? So the first thing you're going to love about it is, guys, the Bavarians are super nice and friendly people. Okay, they're the nicest people in Germany, like I said before. So come to Bavaria, come to Munich, and enjoy their hospitality. Okay, that's one thing you're going to love about here, is the people. The second thing you're going to love about Munich are the museums. Guys, there are great museums here. The Bavarian kings were here for 500 years. Okay, their residence museum, where their palace was, it's amazing inside with the artwork that's collected, the rooms, the apartments. It's to die for. It's amazing. Then you have the Pinotheks. There's 3 Pinotheks. There's the old Pinothek, the Altes Pinothek, or Alte Pinothek, which has 14th to 18th century masters like Druer and Botticelli. You have the Neues Pinothek, the new Pinothek, which has 19th century masters like Van Gogh. And then you have the Pinothek de Moderne. You have modern art in that one. Okay, those are art museums that you're going to love. The residence is more historical stuff, but also has art. And guys,
if you're tired of seeing art and you want to see a science museum, this is the best science museum in Europe, I feel, is the Deutches Museum, the German museum here in Munich. Guys, kids here, they want to grow up to be engineers. They don't want to grow up to be president, they want to grow up to be engineers. Hence why we have all this great technology here from Germany. And from that, you can see in their museum, they have a great science museum here. Okay? The third thing you're going to love about Munich is the good public transport. Guys, the U-Bahn, the subway, the S-Bahn, the suburban trains, the tram, the buses, they go all over the place. You are not connected anywhere in Munich. It'll take you everywhere. You want to go to Oktoberfest thing? You're here. On the same line, boom, you're going, you switch to the station, you can go anywhere. You want to go to Dachau? Hey, it's on the S-Bahn. Everything is very well connected. The public transport is amazing here. And not just in the city. If you're looking to go to other places nearby, Regensburg or Bamberg, or heck, even going up to Berlin, there's great train connections to all kinds of other places, okay? The fourth thing you're going to love about Munich is it's a beautiful city. Guys, I'm on a random park. There's a beautiful church behind me, and that's just in the middle of nowhere, okay? You walk downtown, the old town hall, the residence, you walk around Munich, and it is a beautiful city. I mean, it is really, really beautiful, okay? You're going to love seeing all the architecture, all the Bavarian things, the town hall, the new town hall, the old town hall, all kinds of stuff. And the fifth thing you're going to love about coming to Munich is the beer halls. If you do like beer, if you like the oompa bands, maybe not the oompas, but you know, the bands with the accordions and the drums and the horns and everything, and you're drinking your beer saying, I'm Prosit, I'm Prosit. Guys, it is a blast to go to these things, and you can go anytime. It's fun all the time. And you can go to the big tourist ones like Hofbrauhaus. That's where they have that's the really touristy one, but you'll have a fun time. If you're looking for something a little more chill, want to have a beer hall experience that's not so touristy, you can go to the Augustina Brewery, beer hall. Okay, there's all kinds of them out there. They are a fun time. I guarantee you have a blast doing it. So what are the 5 things you're going to love about coming to Munich? 1, the super nice and friendly people. Because God, the Bavarians are great, guys. The Munich people are great too. 2, the great museums that are here. Hey, I didn't even talk about the little toy museum they have on the old town hall. Okay, all kinds of great museums here. 3, good public transport to take you all over the city, anywhere you need to go. So if you stay a little bit farther out of town for Oktoberfest, you can get home on public transport. 4, the city is beautiful. Okay, it is a beautiful city. You're going to love walking around. And 5, enjoying the beer halls and the oompa bands and your Mass of beer. A Mass is the 1-liter beer, guys. So the first thing you should see is the residence, the royal residence, because this is the capital of Bavaria, and the Bavarian kings had their residence here from 1385 until 1918. So they had a lot of time to collect a lot of amazing artwork and build an amazing residence here in the city. So definitely go check that out. There's over 100 rooms to check out. There's amazing, the rooms are amazing first off, and the artwork that's in there is amazing. The sculptures, I mean, it's just great. Okay, so that's the first thing you should check out is the residence. Okay, the second thing to check out is the Neues Rathaus, or the new town hall. That's where the Glockenspiel is. Okay, at 11 and noon every day, and sometimes in the afternoon in the summer, you have the Glockenspiel where it goes around and they have their little dance and all kinds of stuff. All the tourists will be there. It's at the main square, and guys, the new town hall is the prettiest building pretty much in Munich. Okay, it is beautiful. It's all very, very nice. And what's cool is right by there's the old town hall, and in there's a nice toy museum to take your kids at. Okay, so the second thing is the new town hall and the Glockenspiel there. Okay, the third thing you want to do when you're here in Munich is go to a beer hall. Okay, the most famous one is the Hofbrauhaus. They have the oompa bands, and you're drinking your masses of beer. And guys, remember, the liter beers, they're not called beer steins. Beer steins is something we made up in the US. Okay, they're called a Mass. You want a Mass of beer, a liter of beer. All right, so you can go to Hofbrauhaus or Augustina. There's lots of them out here, great beer gardens, but make sure you go to a beer hall. Even if you don't drink beer, it's good for the kind of experience to go with all the other tourists and have the oompa band going and doing the duck dance, as they call it here. The chicken dance, they call it the duck dance here. Okay? The fourth thing, now 4, 5, and 6 go into the museums, because Munich has got some amazing museums, guys. And number 4 in terms of that is the Alte Pinothek, the old Pinothek, which has a lot of the old masters, 14th to 18th century paintings. People you've heard of like Dürer and Botticelli, famous painters, they have it in there, okay? And then number 5 is the Neue Pinothek, the new Pinothek, which has 19th century masters like Van Gogh, okay? You're going to go there, you're going to enjoy both of those museums. So 4 is the Alte Pinothek and 5 is the new Pinothek. Pinakothek. Okay, and then the number 6, the third museum I really think you should see is the Deutches Museum, the German museum. It's not a German museum; it's a science museum. You go in there. I mean, the Germans are really industrious. They make up all kinds of stuff. There's engineers all over the place, and this museum is basically, I can see how all the little kids in Bavaria want to be engineers because it is the coolest science museum in Europe. So definitely go check that out. It's on the river, easy to get to, really cool, really cool. Great thing to take your kids to. Okay? And if you're not a kid, you'll still enjoy it, okay? The 7th thing you want to go check out is the church behind me, the Frauenkirche. Go inside, it's really pretty. It's the kind of symbol of the town. So you're going to want to check that out, okay? Number 8, you have to go a little bit farther. If you don't, it's not in the center, you got to go a little farther out. You go to Schloss Nymphenburg, which was the summer palace of the Bavarian kings. Very nice, very easily accessible with public transport, beautiful apartments inside to check out, and a wonderful garden to go and just to have a picnic in, take your kids to play around, or just go play around with your sweetie, okay? All kinds of great stuff. All right. Number 9 and things you should go check out. This is more for the summer. The English Garden, Englischer Garten. Okay, it's the big city park here in town. They've got all kinds. There's beer hall. There's beer gardens there. There's space to eat there. There's all kinds of stuff there. Lots of open space to run around and have fun. And if you want to see a lot of naked Germans, it's the place to go. So if your guys wanting to see girls, and girls want to see guys, and guys want to see guys, or girls want to see girls, hey, they've got it all there, so go check it out. It is quite an experience, especially if you're coming from more sedate countries. You'll be walking through the park going, oh my. So definitely check it out. But so make sure you stay away from the FKK part, the naked part, if you were there with kids. There's plenty of place to play with kids, but you'll know when you're getting close to it, okay? But the English Garden is really nice. And number 10 of things you should see when you're here in Munich is not a fun thing, it's Dachau. That's the first concentration camp, Nazi concentration camp. It started in 1933. Hundreds of thousands went through there, tens of thousands died, who knows how many more thousands died that were shipped off from there. You go there, it is a very moving experience, and I definitely recommend anyone that's coming to Munich or German definitely needs to go to it's called a KZ, Konzentrationslager, or concentration camp. It is a very moving, horrible but moving experience. You really should go to really experience it. Okay, so the top 10 things to do here in Munich. 1, go see the royal residence, okay, the residence. 2, go see the new Rathaus, the new town hall, and the Glockenspiel go off, with a nice little side trip to the toy museum and the old town hall, okay? 3, go to the Hofbrauhaus, or any of the beer halls here to enjoy the bands and the music and the beer, okay? Number 4, go to the Alte Pinothek, the old Pinothek, to see the old masters, okay? Number 5, go to the new Pinothek and see the 19th century masters, okay? Number 6, go to the Deutches Museum, the German museum. It's a great science museum. Number 7, go see the Frauenkirche right behind me. Hey, they're fixing up to make it look even nicer for your trip, okay? Number 8, go to Schloss Nymphenburg, right outside of town, the summer residence of the Bavarian kings, okay? Number 9, go to the Englischer Garten for a little chill out time in the park. And number 10, go to Dachau, the first Nazi concentration camp. It is quite a moving experience. So, guys, if you're coming to Munich, or you're going to be in Bavaria, hey, Munich is a great town. Definitely come check it out. If you're coming to Germany, you're going to be coming here. So, check out these top 10. There's more stuff to see here in Munich, believe me, and in Bavaria.